Okay, we are now live. My name is Mark Ross. I'm head of sales for Tectum, and I'm going to bring out the introduction first and foremost of what is Tectum, what are SoftNotes, what makes everything special, right? So let's first off, let me just share the screen real quick. There we go. Okay, folks, we all know, most of you know, that currently Tectum is the fastest blockchain in the world, and that's without sharding. Okay, I want you to realize that. I know there's someone out there that claims to do more transactions, but that's with sharding. Okay, and I don't want to get into the technicalities of that. I still believe because of that we are still the fastest blockchain in the world. We bring out our wallet and, of course, our flagship product, the SoftNote. Now, Tectum started back in 2017. And if you want to do a comparison to the speed of our blockchain, you can see this comparison. If you look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, all the tokens that most of you are familiar with, you'll see Phantom is probably the next fastest that you might be familiar with, that does about 300,000 transactions. Tectum does over 1 million transactions per second, making it the fastest blockchain in the world. Okay, you can always go to our website at tectum.io and you can learn all about the team, about everything you want to see. There's videos, there's all kinds of information there. But let's get to the main product that we bring out for Tectum and what makes it so special, and that is the SoftNote. Well, first, of course, it began with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is really the first introduction for almost all of us to what blockchain technology was in the first place. And it's really kind of just an incredible technology if you really understand how it works, because it can verify itself. The power of blockchain is that it creates a trustless environment where there's no need for the financial institutions, for banks, for government authorities to verify its transactions. It can actually verify itself. And that's what made Bitcoin so special, and why Bitcoin is really becoming, and has become for most people, kind of a household name. But with Bitcoin and this incredible technology comes challenges. And the challenges are the mining. As the network grows, the mining, it continues to be needed, and it grows, and it slows down the network. So as the network grows, it gets slower, but the fees also increase, okay, for Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin was originally invented to be a universal worldwide currency. That's the whole purpose of it. But the reason why it cannot cross the retail boundary by itself is because Bitcoin cannot actually be transacted in typical retail stores, kind of like your coffee shop. If you were to go down to the road and buy a cup of coffee, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to buy it in Bitcoin. Why? Because it's a small priced product, and the transaction times and the fees just don't make it reasonable. Okay. Or if you were to go to the supermarket and buy goods, groceries, whatever, Bitcoin in its current form just isn't practical, okay, in its current form until now. And that's where the SoftNote comes in. So what SoftNotes are, I'm going to pull up an example of a SoftNote. This is what a SoftNote looks like. Now, those of you who understand cryptocurrency, this is a digital image, but it's also kind of like an NFT in a way. But what's really neat about this SoftNote when it's minted is on the right-hand side, you can see it verifies its value because it has its own Bitcoin wallet address. It has its own unique serial number, serial code, and its QR code. This gives it a guaranteed letter of credit. What does that mean to the retail? This makes it so that customers can now spend Bitcoin anywhere in the world free and instant. Because once the liquidity has been provided onto a SoftNote, you no longer have the need for the slow Bitcoin network and the blockchain itself. This is going to help enable Bitcoin to become a currency as it was intended to be in the first place. And it doesn't just stop with Bitcoin. It can happen with any currency. I'll give you another example. The stable token, Tether. Tether can be made as a SoftNote. Right now, if you use Tether on the Ethereum network, you're going to pay fees. You're going to wait for transaction times, just like any other currency. You can see that it has its own USDT wallet address on the right-hand side, and again, its own unique serial code, so that you can see that it can verify its value through this QR code. And again, you can spend this particular USDT SoftNote at any retail store that accepts it. And also, as a benefit to our members, And by the way, it takes one Tectum token to mint 100 bills in certain denominations, which we'll get into here in a second. But to the mentors and the liquidity providers, you also can earn a reward in its particular currency. So let's say you go and you mint and provide liquidity to a Bitcoin soft note, and you put it out in circulation, whether you purchase something of equal value or you sell it to a customer, for instance, for Bitcoin, right? Someone gives you 0.01 Bitcoin literally for this soft note. If they take it to a retailer and spend it at the retail level, the retailer has to set up a Tectum merchant account and pays a 1% fee to Tectum as a merchant fee. Now, this is an incredible deal for the merchant, for the retailer, because they're already paying somewhere between 2 and 3% with Visa and MasterCard and things like that. They're going to be able to start receiving Bitcoin from their customers, which was never practical in the first place before, which is now practical, but it's even going to be cheaper than receiving money through Visa and MasterCard, through like fiat, through Visa and MasterCard. Okay. And most importantly, the most exciting development in this is that whatever soft notes you mint and provide liquidity to and get out in circulation, 40% of that 1% will come back to the person who mints it and provides liquidity to these soft notes. So you can actually begin to earn rewards from getting Bitcoin soft notes and USDT soft notes out into circulation. So it's just an incredible value. Most of you can probably begin to imagine the possibilities of what will happen. There will be exchanges set up in the future for soft notes that will always be available on our soft note exchange as we develop in the future. So I want you to picture this. Picture opening up your soft note bot, which is where you're going to make those transactions, okay? And seeing just this line of just soft notes for sale. Maybe they're selling it for Bitcoin. Maybe they're selling Bitcoin for USDT. Maybe they're selling USDT for Bitcoin. Whatever the case may be, you're going to be able to use that to purchase Bitcoin on the soft note as you see fit. And doesn't it make more sense to actually buy Bitcoin without paying like that 2.5% fee that you have to pay from the exchange? We believe that the crypto industry is going to embrace the soft note. And in doing so, it's going to make Bitcoin cheaper and faster, not just cheaper and faster, but free and instant for everybody in crypto. And so that's what makes it so special. Now, let me go ahead really quick and just kind of also show you what we were going to show you tonight. And that is how we are now minting. We actually, last week was a historic week for Tectum because Alex actually brought to us what his dev team has finished. And that is the ability to actually start minting and providing liquidity to soft notes. Okay, so it's actually ready. I'm going to give you an example in this video. And by the way, folks, it goes pretty quick. I'm going to try to follow it and give you guys this example. But this is what happens when you open up your SoftNote bot, and then you also connect the SoftNote bot to your Tectum wallet by entering the PIN code, which is going to first show you the balance of soft notes that are actually in your Tectum wallet. So let's go ahead and let's get through that phase of it, and then I'll pause it and tell you the next step. So let's just watch this, folks. Watch your screen right now. You're going to see he's actually checking his balance of his wallet. He's going to choose the soft note balance. Now his wallet is already connected. So you can see this is an example of Alex's sample wallet, right? These are actual Bitcoin soft notes that are in his wallet in their denominations. And what he did was he first minted his 100 bills. Okay. So this is his 100 bills in their denominations. I think there's a little bit more in there because normally it's 0.0825 Bitcoin. If you were to provide liquidity to all 100 bills that are in Bitcoin in soft notes, you took one Tectum token, you minted all 100 soft notes in their denominations, and you can see these denominations. You can see 0.02 all the way up to, let's see, 0.00004. You can see these different denominations here, okay? This is what the soft notes actually look like in your wallet before you pull them up. Now, at any time, if you want to, you could pull up the serial numbers of these and you can actually see the digital image, which you're going to be able to see as we continue to move forward. But in this example, these are the green striped soft note bills that already have exact denominations. And what Alex did was he put out a video illustration of what it's like to actually mint a blue stripe soft note bill. So here we go. Let's go ahead and continue to the next step. You can see he's going to go to his home. He wants to go to the mint house. So he chooses action. He chooses mint house. Then he's going to choose the desired currency, which in this case, after he chooses mint, he's going to choose Bitcoin. So he chooses Bitcoin. You can see how simple these steps are. And by the way, there'll be really good video tutorials that show you guys how to do this. He's going to choose the blue stripe. The blue stripe allows him to choose which exact denomination he wants to mint, which in this case is going to be a 0.02 Bitcoin. He just minted it successfully. The ID is 2083. He's going to choose an action, which is going to allow him to emit the soft note. And there you have it. He has an address where he needs to actually send his Bitcoin to fill that soft note with liquidity. So he's got that address. He just had the funds sent to the soft note address. And now the filling has begun. So we complete our fill by selecting the desired banknote. Go back to home, choose actions, go back to mint house, and we finish the emit. So now we actually have a fully minted, blue striped soft note. Now we're going to go on to show you the illustration of that soft note. Here we go. Says our soft note's ready to use. You'll see him in your balance. So he's going to go home. He's going to go back to his balance. He's going to choose soft note to pull up his balance again. And he sees now that he has an additional, if you remember, the previous balance only had 1.02 BTC soft note in the blue stripe. It now has 2. So he just increased that. And now we're going to go back. We're going to continue forward so that you can actually see the illustration of that actual soft note bill in its digital form. Here we go. Digital image. Go back to the home page, choose actions, transport. I'm going to export it in BTC. Now, when he did that, what he did was he exported the serial numbers of every single soft note that's in his wallet. And you can see the most recent soft note was the one that he just filled with liquidity, which was the blue stripe soft note at the 0.02 amount, okay? So that's what you're looking at here. These are all the different serial numbers of his particular soft notes, and this is the one that he just minted. He's going to copy that. He's going to go to the soft note page. He's going to put in the serial number. That's in Russian, so I guess that basically means submit, right? And there you have it. Right there, you can see your banknote. You can actually check the filling by going to the address to see what's actually there. And for some reason, that's one thing I was going to ask because I saw in this video, it says the balance is like, it looked like a different balance. So anyway, see if did Russell join us tonight as well? Maybe not. David, is Russell with us?
I don't see him in there. No.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't see Trevor either.
Folks, that's an example of minting and providing liquidity to a soft note. You can see how easy it is. It's simple. We're going to have video tutorials that you can walk through. You'll get used to it. But I mean, literally that video is about 2 minutes, I think 2 minutes and 15 seconds long, I believe, or maybe 2 minutes and 50 seconds, something like that. Definitely less than 3 minutes to mint a soft note bill. Incredibly simple. Let's go ahead and open it up here to see if there's any questions about that. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question.
Hey, Oliver.
So when TET increases in value, would that help in filling the liquidity on the soft note?
No, it won't help with liquidity. The TET is separate. All it's going to do is see, right now it's one Tectum token to mint 100 soft note bills right now. That amount will change as the value of Tectum token goes up in terms of how much it costs to mint soft notes. But providing liquidity has nothing to do with the actual value of the Tectum token.
Okay.
The liquidity is only provided by the actual currency that you're putting into the soft note. So if it's a Bitcoin soft note, you're going to do Bitcoin. If it's USDT, you'll do USDT. Does that make sense?
Yes. So on the previous screen you showed, you know how you had the soft note and then it was a Bitcoin address below it. That's how you fill it in, right? So you copy
yes.
and paste it, and then you send the Bitcoin to the address. And
that's right.
Do you have to send the exact amount, or you can send more?
No, exact.
For that soft note.
Yeah, you want to send the exact amount. There's no reason to send more.
Would that cover the fees? Because there's fees on the. There's any fees involved in filling out liquidity?
Yeah, the fee should come out automatically, but it should send the amount of Bitcoin that you want to send. So if you send 0.01, the fees are going to be separate. You'll send the full amount of 0.01 or whatever it is to your actual Bitcoin soft note.
Okay, thank you.
And the fees will be taken out separately. Yeah, it'll be taken out of your wallet separately, just like any transaction that you were to send from any exchange. No matter what exchange you use, whatever amount you're sending in Bitcoin is going to go in Bitcoin to that particular address, and the fees are taken out separately from your wallet. And if you don't have the Bitcoin in your wallet to cover the fee, it'll tell you.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
Minting and providing liquidity to soft notes is now the thing is, and this is brand new. We're just bringing this out, so be patient with us. But all I can say is it's happening. What we have been building towards, and for myself since March of this year, is now coming to fruition. This is a big day for Tectum. Hope you guys understand how historic this is. Any other questions at all about that?
Yeah, Mark, this is Kevin. Can you hear
Kevin.
me okay?
Yes, sir.
Hey, so on one hand, it's fabulous to see the progress that you're all making, but it also does seem to the layman to be rather somewhat complicated to mint these soft notes and then fill them with liquidity, and then how are they going to be used? So from a practical standpoint, to get individuals for peer-to-peer and also for retailers to get on board with this, do you feel that it's still a bit complicated, or is it just
I would say this,
and the world will understand it?
The thing is, everything that's new always seems complicated at first. And then when you get in and start doing it, you realize how simple it is. Have you ever had that happen? I mean, my dad, he's 76 years old. He doesn't even like messing with these cell phones, but then once he starts doing it, he's like, oh, it actually wasn't as complicated as he thought. So things have a tendency to look complicated, but it's really very, very simple. And there's going to be video tutorials that walk you through it step by step. So it's incredibly easy. But another thing I want you to think about, Kevin, is not everyone's going to mint and provide liquidity to soft notes that are going to use soft notes. There'll be a lot of people that just want to buy them. They just want to exchange them. They're not even interested in minting and providing liquidity to them. They just want to buy them, exchange them, use them. And that will happen too. And that will be incredibly simple on the exchange. But right now it's a lot simpler than you think it is. It's just a matter of following the steps. Once you do it a few times, it's pretty simple.
And Mark, and if I could jump in, hey Kevin, it's David Track. So keep in mind, we just had to get this to work, right? We kept running into little algorithm, mathematical equations, things that needed to get updated and different iterations. Now that it's working, we can pretty it up, right? Remember, this is under the hood of our application. Right. This is the back end of our Android and iOS app and complete software platform. So once we work out, now that we've gotten this far, the rest we will tweak and make it so that it's so user friendly and explanatory, and it's going to be, it needs to be a no-brainer. So this is just the iteration of it working. It'll get better and better and better, and they'll have UI UX interfaces that we'll be developing and everything. So just wanted to point that out.
This is like exactly. This is I'm trying to think of an example.
Very rudimentary.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example of something that's evolved from its start to the end. I mean, eventually it's going to look pretty where you log in and you look at something and you see lots of visuals, and it makes it really, really simple and easy. But like David said, everything in the beginning starts out that way. It looks complicated, but it's not. Trust me.
But even though it's not complicated, we want it to look like it's not complicated as well. So
right.
we understand that, and those will be little tweaks that we'll be doing. So
yeah.
So this is just the beginning.
Yep.
But it's working.
It's working, and history is changing as we speak.
Mark.
You got it.
Yes, sir.
I know you're going to provide some video to help us out through the process, which would be very good. So it's like the same way we started with Coinbase or any platform.
Yeah.
You just navigate and then get some video about it. And then before we know it, we get ahead of it. That's what I think.
Know. Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you for that. You're exactly
I'm
right.
Excited.
Oh, yeah, you should be. Everybody should be. This is going to change the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else out there have a question about it? We have another giveaway tonight, by the way. So when you're done with your questions, we're going to be asking you guys some questions like we did in the last AMA.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Mark.
Okay.
So hypothetically speaking, let's say I open up a store, right? So how do I set up you said I had to set up a merchant account for the customer to engage in SoftNote transaction? How does that work? Hypothetically speaking.
So yeah, in that case, you would go to the merchant, you would offer them the ability to start receiving Bitcoin. Think of it this way. There's all kinds of entrepreneurs and people that own traditional stores, right? That in their minds, they're already sold on cryptocurrency. Like they invest in crypto, they believe in crypto. You don't have to sell them on Bitcoin, right? So you walk in and you say, hey, do you own Bitcoin? And that owner might say, oh, absolutely, I own Bitcoin. How would you like to be able to let your customers spend Bitcoin in your store for all of your goods and services, and they don't have any processing times or fees like that's required from the Bitcoin network? Would you be interested in being able to do that? Now, anybody that already has Bitcoin and owns a store can't say no to that. Like, how could they possibly say, no, not interested, I really don't care about Bitcoin? They own it. They want to see mass adoption. They're interested in it. They're Bitcoin enthusiasts already, right? So it's going to be really easy to say, okay, now all you got to do is set up a Tectum wallet and a merchant account. And not only can you begin receiving Bitcoin and SoftNotes, but you can start minting and providing liquidity to those SoftNotes yourself and getting them to your customers. Yes. So it's going to be seamless. Let me tell you that right now, and I've said this to you guys many times before, I love to do a comparison. This is something I didn't do in my intro, okay, which I actually left out. I shouldn't have. Let's go back to a quick screen share. Remember, this coin market cap represents the entire crypto industry for the most part, okay? If you look at the market cap for the entire industry, it's over $1 trillion right now. Now, a lot of people think of that and think, oh, trillion, that's a tremendous amount of money. It's really actually very, very small. You know, the Forex market, for instance, the foreign exchange market for currencies does more than this on a daily basis. It's like $8 to $11 trillion a day that's transacted in the Forex market. And those are just transactions. You got to understand that the crypto industry is still in its infancy, and this is in a down market. I mean, we're looking at an over $1 trillion market cap in a down market. As we know, since November, it's gone nothing but down for the most part. So I want you to think about the fact that, you know, we are marketing to this industry. And you know what I think is that all of these market caps, if we take the Bitcoin market cap, which makes up over 40% of the entire industry, right? That's why we have to start with Bitcoin in terms of minting and providing liquidity to SoftNotes. That's why the first SoftNote really is Bitcoin, okay? And of course, we're going to include the stable token, USDT, but eventually we're going to go into other kinds of tokens. Like I think Doge is probably the next one, but we'll see. Doge is a big one because it's also gained a tremendous amount of popularity with like big business owners and entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Mark Cuban and people like that. So but that ability is available, right? So I want you to just think about the fact that we are marketing Tectum and SoftNotes to an already, to us, enormous industry, right? It's like I said, 1 trillion is not a lot of money to the world, but to you and me, it's a tremendous amount. What piece of that industry can we capture as a company, Tectum, with our vision of making, I always like to make that Tron comparison. You guys remember that? Why do I do that? Who can tell me why I make the Tron comparison? Is there anybody out there that wants to earn a free soft note for telling me why I make Tron the comparison? Is anybody out there that wants to come out and tell me?
I got that one, Mark.
Yeah,
Tron allowed USDT to be transferred much more cheaply and much more quickly than the usual network that it was originally built on.
Exactly. Now, kudos to you, gold star and a free soft note for Andreas. So remember that, Dave. We're going to give Andreas a free soft note. Now, he's right. Now, what do we see about Tron is that in a down market, I always want to remind you, this is a down market, guys. And in a down market, Tron has a 5.895, almost, getting close to a $6 billion market cap. Think about that. What are we marketing to initially before we even touch the merchants, before we even go to the retail market? We don't have to run around and convert people. We're going to run into all kinds of merchants and retailers that are already into crypto. They already love Bitcoin. You're just going to walk in and they're going to go, heck yeah, I know what Bitcoin is. I own, 3 Bitcoin, or, I've been investing in Bitcoin since 2017, or, you're going to run into people like that. And it's not going to be that hard to market it to. And I use the coin market cap as a representation of who is our market right now. We don't have to convert the masses yet. We can stay within our market and still grow exponentially, right? Because if we were to get to where Tron is at a $5.8 billion market cap, while the market's down, do you know what that does to the token? Who can answer that? Who can answer? Okay. Who can answer? And Andreas, please don't answer this because I know you're about to. Is there anybody besides Andreas that can tell me what would the Tectum token be worth if we were to reach a $5.8 billion market cap? Anybody know?
$600 a token.
Okay, approximately, right, Oliver? So gold star to Oliver. He now gets a soft note as well.
Thank you,
so
guys.
Good job, Oliver. Excellent job. So you've been listening. Great job. So what does that mean to us? And he's right. I mean, people might say, no, it'd actually be $589, but I would say Oliver's actually closer to being right because it's going to be closer to 600 and more than 5,895 million. I can't even say the number. It's gonna be close to 600 or probably more than 600. Why? Because there will never be 10 million tokens in circulation. It will never happen. The way that you figure up the price of a token, if you look at Tron at 6 cents, a little over 6 cents, is to see what its market cap is and divide it by its circulating supply, which is close to just over 92.5, almost 92.5 billion. Now we only have 10 million. So it gives you an idea of how absolutely potentially the price could be at $2.50. Just try to imagine that, right? What are the possibilities? I'll leave that up to you. Again, this is not financial advice. You guys, we're just giving you information and you're making a decision on what you think, right? We're excited about it. You guys can decide how excited about it you are. But the bottom line is this. That's why I make the Tron comparison, because it's within the cryptocurrency market. It's inside the cryptocurrency market. And that's our potential. Now, the cryptocurrency market is continuing to expand. There are more and more people owning Bitcoin every day. New people that have never owned Bitcoin before. Hundreds and hundreds of people every day are getting into Bitcoin. So the market is expanding. So when the bulls return and Bitcoin gets back to its all-time high, which was around 69,000, which is about three and a third times its current price, right? You can imagine where these other market caps will be. And if Tron can get to where it's at, making something cheaper and making something faster, what do you think is going to happen to a company that makes it free and instant? What do you think? Do we have potential? I think so. So this is a historic day because now we're finally, we told you guys before we hit the exchange, which in this case is Bitmart, before we hit the exchange, we will have our flagship product ready and working. Very, very few projects can say that, if any. Okay. Most of these projects are still in development, whether it's Polygon, Avalanche, Cardano, all of these, Ethereum, even still Ethereum. Most of them are still in development. And I'm not saying we won't always be in development in a sense that we're always evolving, always getting better, right? But our flagship product, the SoftNote, will be in circulation and people will already be using it before we even hit the exchange. So then what's going to happen is what people are mostly used to, all the people that own these other tokens here that are in the crypto world, and they go to that exchange, they learn about Tectum. They're going to go, okay, what's the product? What's it all about? And then they find out that it's already in circulation, that already people are using it and exchanging it already. It's going to go crazy. Okay, that's what I truly believe. Now, that's what I believe. Again, this is not financial advice, but that's what I believe. Okay, any other questions about that? About anything?
So, Mark, you did raise the statement where the formula for TET to SoftNotes it sounds like it's been resolved or set down. Will we be able to look at that formula, or where can we do that at?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. David, do you happen to have an example of how one Tectum token mints 100 bills and what those are actually in circulation, or not circulation, but in denomination? I just showed it earlier. I can bring it back up actually if you want me to. Is that what you mean, Andreas?
Not quite. So that's for the bonus for us initial adopters. But what about once that goes away? What's the formula for deciding how many soft notes are printed by one TET token?
It's going to be 1-to-1, and then it'll be equal to 760 divided into the dollar value of the token.
Yeah, okay, so the $760 did remain then.
No, that's not. I would actually beg to differ, to be honest. I would beg to differ on that.
I don't think that's right. I think that changed a while back.
Yeah, it would be good if this would be another time to have Russell on here. Where's that guy?
It's a Russell.
That's a Russell question. But no, it's a great question. And I wouldn't say that it's set in stone, but what you need to look at is where it's at now. And like I said, I can show you where it's at now. I showed you guys earlier. See if I can pull that up again.
Yeah, Russell has become like the Alexander Hamilton of our treasury here.
Okay, I'm having trouble bringing up that video that I just had. Hold on, guys. Where did that video go? I've got all these windows and I'm trying to find it. You guys ever get lost in your windows? I'm actually lost in my windows trying to find it. Hold on a second, guys.
Tell them how many screens you've got.
You don't even want to know. I got 8 screens.
That should be. I was going to say that should be an AMA question on one of the calls.
You guys want to see my screens? Let me see. I can actually show you guys my screens. No, you don't want to see my screens.
We see nothing right now.
Okay.
8 screens. Insane.
I'm embarrassed because I can't find it. Hold on, guys. Okay, hold on. I think I got it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold your horses. Let's try to find it. Okay, right there. Now let me share my screen. Because right now it's going to stay this way for as long as, I mean, I don't know how long, but for a while. Okay, you can see these denominations. Now ignore these 2 here because that's the 0.02, but everything below that is what it is. So you're going to have 24 of the 0.4 zeros and a 2. You're going to have 3 of these. You're going to have 7 of the 0.0001. Do I have to say all the zeros, guys? You're going to have, this is basically what your denominations look like in Bitcoin. So when you mint 100 bills, this is what they look like right here. You with me, Andreas?
I am, yes.
Okay, good. So that's what you have now. Will it change? Can it change? Sure. But this is where you're at. And you're going to be able to pick and choose eventually. Right now, if you mint these denominations right now, you are required to provide liquidity to all of them. But it's coming out very soon that you're going to be able to mint and provide liquidity to any one of these at a time. But right now, there's a full package that you just choose, which ends up being about 0.0825 Bitcoin is what it is. And that's for the early people that want to do it. But you saw in that blue striped example, they're larger denominations. If you notice, the smallest denomination in the blue stripe example is 0.02. So there's still a little, guys, we're getting there, right? But it's still a little bit limited in terms of what the masses will do, because the masses aren't going to come in and put 0.0825 of Bitcoin into 100 bills yet. They're not going to do that yet. But it will come, I think, probably within the next week or so. You're going to be able to mint all of these bills, but then choose which ones you want to provide liquidity to. Does that make sense? It's just not there yet. Hopefully that answers that. And we got two soft note winners. Oh, someone else have a question?
No, I was just adding to what Andrea was saying. So when Tectum is on the exchange and it's, fluctuating between 20, 40, or 100 Tectum, just so let's say if you want to acquire 100 soft note pack, with that, the price what would the price be if the token, let's say, is trading about $100 a token or $50 a token?
Yeah, that's a great question. I remember Russell saying he wanted to keep it somewhere around $41 to mint 100 soft note bills. I think he said on average. So if Tectum token was $100 a token, it'd be 0.41 Tectum to mint 100 soft note bills. Does that make sense?
Yes, got it. Okay,
yeah.
So that comes to the question earlier. So the higher the price of a TT, then
the less it'll take. And remember, this one Tectum token for 100 soft note bills is the introductory offer. Okay, I'm not saying
for the early adopter right now.
It is, and it's currently indefinite, but sure to change. So just kind of roll with the punches. But like I said, I would say that just like Russell had mentioned, it's going to be somewhere around $41. It will be the average price to mint 100 bills. So whatever that equals in Tectum tokens, but not yet. I mean, we're not worried about that right now. We're in our pre-sale. We're going to keep it at one Tectum token for a while. Once it hits the exchange, that's when you'll see things change. Okay. It'll make more sense.
Hey, Mark, there's some questions. I'm on the YouTube channel.
Is there?
Yes.
We got a lot of activity here. We got a lot of activity here in the chat group too.
People know it's coming. The buzz is around us. What could Jazzwanth ask? What could be the impact of Ethereum merge on Ethereum soft notes? What if a team does not want to use soft note features? Okay, that's a different question, but what could be the impact of Ethereum merge on Ethereum soft notes?
Well, in one way, like all major DeFi projects are being developed on the Ethereum network, so that would cause a magic surge. It will catapult the whole industry faster.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Bitcoin is starting to rally right now. I think between the report of the U.S. dollar losing value and the Ethereum merger. Those are two major factors. Everyone's excited about that. We don't have an Ethereum soft note yet. But by the time that if we've decided to do that, I'm sure we probably will. And when we roll that out, I think that's something that we'll deal with then. I think that's a little bit of ways away from our purview at this point. Unless, Mark, you wanted to add something.
No, that's it. But while I was talking, I hope I answered Bob's question, because I'm trying to go back up to this top question here. Bob, did I answer your question or not? Because what you had asked was, what if you can't provide liquidity yourself? And you said blue stripe and green stripe difference. The biggest difference is the green stripes will come in the 100 pack. Now, excuse me, I believe they all have, are they still tied to one address? Because I remember Russell introducing the idea of having 4 addresses, but are we still sticking with one address on the green stripe? Is that right, Dave?
The problem that I have, to be honest with you, is that there's conversations that are ongoing between Alex and Russell, and they're fine tuning that piece of it. But it's amazing to hear those two talk, because it's just two big brains going at it in a good way, not negative, but and some of it honestly ends up. I mean, I eventually catch up, but when they're first discussing, sometimes I'm not completely following everything, because there's a lot of moving pieces. It's a very the end result should be simplified for everybody, but the fact of the matter is, it is not an easy thing. There's a lot of mathematics going on to make this work. So, but great question. We'll take note of that, and we'll address that on the next call.
But the biggest difference to understand is that the blue stripe bills have larger denominations. So blue stripe is larger denominations. Green stripes contain very small denominations that are much more realistic for people to use. And then answering your question,
but we were moving away from the reminting,
right?
Remember?
Oh yeah, which we have.
That's part of the.
Yeah, there isn't any reminting.
Correct.
But the bottom line is, when it comes to those are the difference between the blue and the green. But also, he asked, what if you can't provide liquidity yourself? Is it possible that you could mint up the bills and someone else provide liquidity? Yes, but very few people would do that right now, because it's very easy to mint. And so why not just provide liquidity to your own? Because then you're going to get 40% instead of 20% every time the retailer uses it, right? So that's the best answer I can give to that. I hope that answers your question, Bob. Let's go down the way.
We've lined up a lot of liquidity providers, and we're looking to be involved in the liquidity pool as well. So there's always going to be liquidity, should be always liquidity available. But Mark, let me just finish the other part of Jazzweb's question. He said, what if a team does not want to use SoftNote feature, instead wants to develop their project on the Tectum blockchain? Do you cater to them? So we will have some kind of an open source at some point. It shouldn't even be that far into the future. And we will have a Launchpad on the Tectum blockchains for different projects to launch. So we're going to be, an inclusive community for developers. So hopefully that answers that. And Bobby Joe said, so how do we buy our first batch for 1 TET? Well,
I would wait for the instructional video to be official and come out, and then you could do it.
Yeah.
So I would just wait. I'd love to be able to say it's out, go log into your Tectum wallet, go for it, but it's just not quite there. We just wanted to show you guys that it's happening, because it's exciting, and we just try to keep you guys up to speed. But it's coming, folks. Your ability to do it is coming real soon. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, Mark, kind of a follow-up question to the liquidity. If you got an assortment of different denominations of the SoftNotes, how would you know which ones to fill with liquidity versus not?
Yeah, well, right now, if you mint them, you're going to provide all liquidity. But what's kind of neat is it's all one address, which makes it all one transaction. That's one good thing about the green stripes, is that when you provide liquidity to those bills, you're going to do it all at once, and it's all going to be one transaction, not a bunch of tiny little ones. Because who wants to mint, for instance, a 0.00004 and pay the fee and do that one at a time? Like, nobody's going to want to do that. It just doesn't make sense, right? Because it's not worth it. So because the Bitcoin network fee would cost more than the bill's worth, right? Well, not necessarily, but you get my point. In terms of how you know which ones, well, once there is the ability to provide liquidity to the ones you choose, which is coming, you're going to be able to just make that decision based on what you think is practical. Just think about what makes the most sense to you. I mean, if I were you, I would think, this is just how I would think about it. Again, not financial advice, but this is just how I think about it. If I'm minting up 100 bills, I'm going to take the ones that make the most sense to me that I would actually spend. Like, here's the ones that are worth approximately 20. here's the ones that are worth approximately $5, 50 cents, and just kind of take an assortment of them and just mint them, provide liquidity to them, and then start getting them out in circulation. Does that make sense?
How do you, again, maybe it's a pretty basic question to us trying to understand the whole thing, is how do they get out into circulation then? Is that something we have to do, or it goes into a pool that Tectum would help distribute out to retailers or however?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think it can go into a pool and it can be utilized that way. Initially, though, I think most people will be doing it themselves, friends, family, people that they know. Hey, check this out. This is really cool. I can send you Bitcoin on this little digital image. And so word of mouth is going to travel. And then there's going to be people out there that just are like professionals. And David heads this up, where they're going to be going into retailers and getting merchant accounts for the company. And they're going to have SoftNotes, standing by, ready to go, and getting them out in circulation that way. So it's just word of mouth, and the bigger we get, the easier the more it's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll have an army of ISO agents in the field that already have merchants lined up that they're currently working with. Many ISOs have hundreds or tens of thousands of merchants. So we've already done a little bit of a test, and whoa, a lot of feedback there. But we've done a small test, and it is very well received amongst both merchants and ISOs. So we're just holding back on pulling that trigger. We want to make sure all the ducks are in a row before we do that, of course.
Do you think that they would mint and fill their own soft notes, or do you think having a pool of filled soft notes available to them would be terrific?
You mean to the merchants?
Yeah, sure.
Filled soft notes. Well, the only reason for a filled soft note to a merchant is for a transaction, right? If somebody's coming to the merchant to make a purchase, the buyer is going to have that soft note filled with liquidity, ready to buy. Right? It's not the merchant who's filling it. It's the the user either has it already filled, or someone has filled it for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess I'm still trying to figure out how they're going to get out into the marketplace and get used for real. Is it something we have to do personally, or
it will happen?
A lot of people.
Yeah.
No,
a lot of people will do it that
user.
way.
So I'm going to create one of the things I'm working on. We're going to have a front-facing website for merchants and ISOs, and we're going to have some explainer videos that really simplify the process. And you just watch a nice little explainer cartoon video that just simplifies it. Really, really, really simple. I mean, you guys are early adopters, and you're getting the nuts and bolts, and things are unfolding right before your eyes as we're even updating and figuring things out. When we present this to the public, we will have fleshed out the majority of all of this, the bugs and things. And so it'll be a real simple, you introduce somebody and they'll watch a video and they'll get it. That's right. How simple we want to make this.
Think about why Bitcoin exploded. Why? Because people love the idea of that decentralized nature of the blockchain and how it can verify itself, and it doesn't need the authorities to verify it, and it can't be as controlled or manipulated because it has an exact value, right? An actual finite value. That's why they like it. The same kind of popularity will happen with a soft note. People are going to start going, wow, now I can actually use Bitcoin, this incredible blockchain product that I've always loved. I can actually start using it, and that's what's going to happen. But it's not going to happen instantly, right? As people learn about it,
right? We keep getting. It's like the chicken and the egg. Like what comes first? We know that we're starting to hit a little bit of a critical mass. We're having applications, people that are experienced in blockchain and crypto that are finding out about our project, and they're blown away. They're asking us questions. They're writing articles, and it's starting to kind of move amongst the kind of the developer crowd And people realize what's happening. This is a game changer. That something that everyone has tried to do. If you look into most of these projects, they tell you, oh yeah, we're going to be a commercial product. We're going to be able to allow to cross into point of sale, but they're always talking about it, and they've never been able to do it because there's always the congestion and fees. It just doesn't work, and they put band-aids on it, and they try lightning networks and all these different things. And then, like Mark said, you got the one company, hey, we do 8 million transactions a second. Well, we dug into it, and no, they're doing sharding, and it's really about maybe a couple of hundred transactions per second. If we did sharding right now, we would be, according to Alex, at about 60 million transactions per second. And if we wanted to have enough resources behind that, that could take us into the billions of transactions per second, billions. But we don't need that right now. But he did say that at some point there could be a need for sharding. So, but I can tell you, we still reign supreme. There's no one who comes close to what we're doing. And so this is a game changer. When people find out that they can take their crypto and start using it, especially when the dollar is weakening, and people think the Federal Reserve is coming to an end. They're trying to move us into the digital dollar. I mean, there's so many questions about this monetary system we have that has no asset to back it. And here we have an asset-backed solution, finite amount, and people love crypto, but it's been stagnant because it's unfortunately been tied to the financial markets. But here's a way to kind of break away from everything when we actually turn crypto into a currency. And I think we're gonna kind of cauterize the bleeding for not just blockchain, but crypto as a whole. Because once you Bitcoin is the market leader, and once you kind of fix Bitcoin, the rest will follow, and that's what we'll start wrapping around other blockchain platforms.
Charles Bronner asked if there's a Tectum app, and right now there's not, but that's in development. That will happen. So there will be a mobile Tectum app that will.
But what you're seeing,
not there.
Right, and what you're seeing, Charles, on the Telegram bot, that is under the hood. That's actually our mobile app. So we're developing it first in Telegram. Once it's completed, we're ready. We just have to, do the UI UX interface to get it ready for Android and iOS, which is the easiest part. This has been the most challenging piece for us.
Rhonda asks, how are these soft notes used in New York City? Nice question. They're not yet, but all in due time. All in due time.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Okay, if there's no other questions, let's ask a few more. I think we can ask, 3 more questions and give away 3 more soft notes. What do you say, Dave? You got those questions in front of you?
Yeah. I've got them. Why don't you monitor the Zoom chat?
Yep.
And I will monitor the YouTube chat.
So okay, guys. You're going to want to answer on the chat. So whenever he asks this, make sure you answer on the chat. And I say we limit it to 1 per person tonight, because I don't want Juan to start stealing all of them. So 1 per person. Come out and answer.
It's always 1 per person.
Yeah.
It's always one. You mean only 1 person
I mean for the
win?
night.
Nah.
I mean for the night. You can win 1. Well, you want to do it. You wanted to do as many as you wanted, didn't you, Dave? You want to keep it going?
I like a leaderboard, man.
He likes the like big dogs to come out. All right, fine. You can. Never mind, Andreas. Go for it.
Right. Andreas and Juan, I know the two are forced to be reckoned with, but okay, here we go, guys.
Get your
fingers ready. What currencies do our SoftNotes packs currently come in?
Yep. Juan picked it up. BTC and USDT. He got it.
Wow. Mark, do me a favor. Don't make the announcement, okay? Because there's a 30-second delay on YouTube. So we can't say anything until we give YouTube enough time. But nobody has said anything yet on YouTube. So Juan gets that one. Okay, good job, Juan. The man won 4 last week, so
he must have gotten some. How does he type that fast?
He's fast. I think he's got a team of people working for him.
He does. So he's got something going on over there.
Something, man. Okay. I'm a weirdo, he said. So what percentage of the retailer fee does the minter receive as a reward? Okay, I got to tell you.
The minter gets 20, right?
Yeah, they do, but I was looking at the screen, and even though there's a delay, Gilbert Balderas from YouTube actually got it in before Oliver. Oliver looks like he was the first on Zoom, but that 30-second delay.
I'll pass it.
I got to give it to Gilbert. Guys. All right. So good job, everybody. There's a lot of people that got that right. Carlos, Rhonda, Andreas again, Tommy Jones, Bob, Remy. Good stuff, everybody. In fact, if I'm just looking here. Yeah, and Oliver. Okay. Last question. Well, maybe there'll be another one. In our introductory offer, how many TETs does it cost to mint one pack of SoftNotes? In our introductory offer, how many TETs does it cost to mint one pack of SoftNotes? Okay. Well, I think we've given enough time. Mark?
I see Bob.
I see Andreas said, I see Bob. Yeah, Andreas said 110 to 1. No. But Bob got the first one in there.
Yeah.
Bob. Good job.
Bob. Way to go, Bob. Bob.
Bob, reminds you of a song. Okay, well, that's it for me on the questions. There was a total of 4 questions. That looks like I have Andreas' information from the one earlier, and now we've got Bob. Who was that on Zoom? We have Gilbert and
Oliver.
Third. Oliver. If you guys could go to my Telegram at David Track and just text me your email and your Tectum ID, and we will get that up to you guys right away.
Still got to claim my SoftNotes from the last call.
Who's that? Andreas?
Oliver. That was Oliver. What was it? I didn't quite hear because my daughter actually came in my office and interrupted me. What was that?
He says he's got to claim his. Wait, on the last call.
He's got one.
Wait, didn't Juan get one tonight?
Yeah, Juan got one. Remember, he answered the BTC and USDT like lightning fast, and he called himself a weirdo.
Didn't Andreas? Right, didn't Andreas get one?
Yeah, Andreas got one
tonight.
Yep, Andreas, Oliver, and, Juan, Gilbert, and Bob.
Bob.
Is that 5? Is that 5 people?
That's 5. That is 5.
But I only asked 3 questions, and
well,
you only
that's
asked
because
one.
I asked a few earlier. So if you want to add some to what we just did, because I asked a few earlier.
Okay. So you I remember one. I didn't realize you did 2. Okay, you got it. So other than Andreas, I just need everybody else's information at David Track, and we'll take care of that for you.
At David Track is the Telegram. Guys? So send it to at David Track. I'm going to type that in the chat real quick just so they have it.
I got to tell you, man, I'm impressed because a lot of people got that right. They were fast on that last one, too. That was actually really...
We got a great group
good
here.
Stuff. I'll tell you.
Got a good group of
Great
people.
group.
Awesome.
All right. They were smart enough to find us and stick with it. See?
All right. Celine is asking, hey, Celine asked a question. Will it be able to mint USDC? Not yet. It's coming probably soon, but not yet.
Yeah.
Well, what about USDT is weak, right? I mean, somebody just put in the chat that could it's in trouble. So.
Oh, USDC.
USDT.
Oh, USDT.
Yes.
You know, I've been hearing that for like the last year and a half, and they keep saying that, but then nothing bad happens. So I don't know what to tell you on that one.
Right.
It seems pretty solid to me. I mean, it's hooked up to so many pairs. I think that. You know,
I keep hearing in different projects that, it's better to do a project that is using USDC than USDT, because of the liquidity. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and they talk about how Coinbase. Right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like Coinbase said recently, listen, if we go out, there's a lot of people that can lose all their money. They laid off a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, that's not. We all use Coinbase, right, for something to purchase, but I've had Tether USDT for a long time. It did a slight movement at one point, but we're going to be spreading our wings, so we're not. Speaking of Tether, we're not necessarily going to be tethered to just USDT. So we'll be adding numerous stable coins, I believe.
Yep. We don't know when we're going to mint Ethereum SoftNotes yet, Bob. We're not there. But there's something to do with the nodes that Alex said it was something a little more complicated with the nodes. I'm not sure what that means.
He did say that. There was something. Yeah, there's something with the fees with Ethereum that makes it a little bit, I guess, not as urgent to wrap around as some of the others. So, but now with the merger and things happening, maybe it'll be something we do sooner than later.
Yep. Good stuff, guys.
Any more questions, anybody, before we go?
Last chance. You're welcome, Rhonda. That's it.
Let me just check. Let me check YouTube real fast. I was off the page. Nope, no questions.
Okay.
Cool. All right, everybody. Looks like we're going to see you on next week's call. Stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have some good, exciting news for you next week as well. And we'll continue these Q&As, the SoftNote giveaways.
Yep, SoftNote giveaways, Q&As. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later. Great having you, and we'll see you next Monday. Welcome, everybody.